Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Peak Season Podcast, the only show where you get to take pleasure from our pain. How's it going, Tyler?
Doing great, Luke. Great point there.
Yeah, what's new with you, man?
All's okay on my end, but you got a lot happening right now. So I think today's podcast is really just going to be catching up on all the things that Luke has been experiencing. Just as you guys may or may not remember or recall, Luke's got two properties that he has coming online and needs to go live this month for tax purposes, of course. But we have a lot happening. And, with the Alm Haus, which had a lot more of renovation happening. And I don't know, Luke, what's the name of the other property that you're buying?
Man, I don't even know what we're naming it yet. We've got a lot of different ideas. It's sort of got treehouse vibes. It's on the side of a hill, and the living area kind of looks off into the trees. So we want to have some sort of a play on words with treehouse.
Okay.
So like maybe Northwoods treehouse, Bellaire treehouse, something along those lines. So, but we haven't exactly nailed that down yet. So, man, that is something I'm working on, but it might have to wait a few days.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's probably the least of your worries, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, the name of a property is not really all that important.
No, not. I mean,
so-
it's not going to make or break people booking the property. So
Exactly.
Agree.
Exactly. I think the only thing that really matters to me is, can I get the domain, and is it something where there's not going to be 100 other ones? So if somebody Googles the name of it, they can, I could be the number one hit.
Right.
But other than that, like, I'm not really too concerned about what they actually get named. And it just has to be something that I don't mind looking at for years to come. So, yeah. And I mean, to start it off, we've kind of we've got great snow up there, but the winter bookings have been slow to come in. So that's been a little bit of a point of frustration. So the existing properties are sort of, they're booking, but just not like they did last year. So we're kind of having to be more proactive with that. And I know you're experiencing the same thing.
I mean, it's been different compared to the last 4 years that I've been renting up there almost. So a lot more tweaking the listings and descriptions, moving things around, changing pictures, adding pictures, a lot more in the price labs, changing pricing and seeing what can work, discounts, which is not typical all the time and during this time, but just trying to do what we can to try to get some people booking in. But let's talk about let's start with the Alm Haus, because that's kind of the one that I know a lot of people have been hearing about for a while now. So Luke's been spending some time up north at the properties, and give us a little update on where you're at.
Yeah, so Elm House, this was my first like major renovation, so it's been a learning experience for sure. But yeah, we've got pretty much all the furnishings in, everything in the upstairs area is for the most part set up. We don't have linens and towels and things like that out, just because there is still some construction dust floating around there and contractors coming in and out.
Yeah.
So lesson learned, I probably should have held off on ordering everything a little bit longer, because now everything's really dusty. So like it needs a serious deep clean before we could even get going. But I was worried about getting all the boxes in there in the snow. Because right now we've got a foot of snow on the ground, and if I had 50 boxes delivered, that would just be an issue. I don't even know if they can get them up the driveway. So it's picking the lesser of two evils there. So the upstairs, so it's basically 3 floors. So the basement / garage is a master bedroom, nice new bathroom, game area, ski drop. We pulled out a garage door, and that's going to be trifold glass doors. So down there, they're still pretty much working, but the second and third levels, which are basically just bedrooms and living areas, are pretty much set up and together, which is nice. So there's really not a lot for me to do there until the contractor gets out. I kind of had to say, like, I told Jim, our contractor, This Wednesday, there are no more signs of you upstairs at all, and we're getting in with a deep clean.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so and uh, as things will as happens, we get towards the end of the year, and I need to hit the gas because I need to get these things done, right? But
Yeah.
everybody else is slowing down because they're like, "Hey, it's
Right.
Christmas time." So I started, I messaged my cleaner about getting in there and doing a deep clean and finishing the setup, and she's like, "Well, I'm going out of town for Christmas that whole week." I was like, "Oh man." She had backups to cover for like turns, right? Like
Right.
she wasn't just leaving me high and dry, but
Yeah.
she's kind of been my
Because,
go-to for setup, and like she's the head cleaner, so like I want her setting the place up. So that's not great. Um, but we kind of I pushed the push Jim a little bit harder to get out of there, and hopefully he's going to be out a couple days before she goes on vacation, so she can get in there and do a deep clean. And then right like the day after she leaves, I'm going to be in town and I'm going to stay there,
yeah.
and just finish getting all that set up, and we'll see. Um, so hopefully we'll be looking at going live here pretty quick. I am going to go. I'm going to create a listing on Airbnb and just put up my design boards from the designer
Mhm.
and see if I can't start to snag some mid-January bookings.
Right.
I do want to kind of for both these properties, especially Alm House, I'm going to do like a soft open. I'm going to have actually my inspector go in and be the first guest. So the home inspector from when I purchased the property, he was looking to have a little getaway, staycation type thing with his family. So I gave him a deep discount and said, "Hey, go in and work out the kinks for me and let me know what needs to be fixed." So he's going to be the first guest. And then I'm going to just turn to my friends and family network and see if we can get somebody else who wants to go in for a discounted or day, and let them go in and just kind of check it out. Yeah.
So let's talk about that real quick. Why is it important to get people in there? Let's just kind of educate people if maybe not everybody's or some people are new to this game. Let's talk a little bit about why is there such a sense of urgency to get this up and running and get people booked this month?
Sure. So for those first year tax advantages, we need to have a couple things. Material participation. So you need to have 100 hours and more than anybody else working on the property, or 500 hours, which I fall into the 500-hour category.
Hmm.
So I've got 500 hours of my entire, combined over my entire STR portfolio. And then you need to have your properties up and running that tax year, and you need to have at least two bookings that average 7 nights or less. So I am going in and I'm just gonna start phoning in friends and asking for favors. Basically, we're seeing who wants to. It's close to a lot of family for us, so
Right.
I think it's a nice time of year to be up there. I think we'll be able to get some people in the door. We've already got the inspector coming in for one stay with his family, and it's nice. So a little tidbit that people might not know is if you have a booking that starts this year and ends next year, it is next year's booking.
Yep.
So I was able to talk to my handyman and say, "Hey, I need you to check out on the 31st. If you want to stay longer, you can check right back in, but your booking ends on the 31st."
Yeah.
Uh, so it's going to be two bookings if he does stay longer.
Right.
You can do that with friends and family and have that conversation. Whereas if somebody is just a stranger that's booking the place and paying
Yeah.
the full nightly rate, they have a different expectation.
Right. Right.
So, yeah, and I have had combinations of friends and family be my first stay, or I've had people just from the open market be my first stay, and I do always tell them, "Hey, you're my first stay, so I want everything to be perfect," and they're usually kind of flattered and they give you good feedback and they're cool about it usually, but in a place where I'm renovating, like I don't even know what's going to be wrong with what they're going to find that I'm not,
Sure.
and I just don't feel comfortable charging somebody, especially it's going to be around New Year's, charging somebody New Year's prices to go in there and have a stay with their family, and it's not up to expectations.
So of having, at least some acquaintance who's close who, probably is going to still give you a good review, right? But also is going to give you some honest and transparent feedback,
Right.
maybe the sidebar if there was something maybe that they experienced or thought of. So I think that's a good and smart choice to do, even if you're not in this time crunch. Just having people close to you give you that honest feedback, and there's no better way to do that than for them to stay, right? So
Exactly, exactly. And the IRS doesn't specify like it has to be an insane nightly rate or it has to be a stranger or anything like that. It just has to be a booking of seven
mhm,
nights or less.
mhm.
And of course, check with your tax professional before you implement any of this. I'm not a CPA. They're going to be paying guests and they're going to book it and they're going to stay there. So there's no reason why that wouldn't qualify.
So we got Alm Haus, so it's wrapping up. I feel confident. I mean, you seem pretty confident about it, so
Yeah. Well,
I think that's great news. Let's talk about the newest property. So this one, the newer property, also kind of in the Bellaire area, right?
mhm.
Um, it's even newer in terms of you know, put down, made the offer, did the home inspection. Now you're kind of at that point where it's a little bit more ready. It's not major renovations like the Alm House. So this is more of, hey, we need to probably get some additional furniture or change up some things. So let's talk a little bit about how that went and what you're looking at changing, because I think some people wonder, well, if this person wasn't successful, what makes you think that you can be successful? What were you thinking about when you went and walked through the house, or when you saw the pictures before you put in the offer of how you? I mean, we kind of talked a little bit about doing comp sets and looking about that, but just I guess maybe from a design perspective, what were some of the things that you were focusing on or doing on this to get this property up and running?
Yeah. So I'll just call it the treehouse for
Perfect.
for
I
for
like
ease
it.
of for ease of reference here. So the Elm House was not a short term rental before. It was somebody's primary home. So they moved out. They took all their stuff and we renovated and completely furnished. The treehouse was a short term rental, and they only owned it about a year, and it didn't go very well for them. Well, I assume because they're selling it in a year.
Mhm. Mhm.
There's no way they made any money really. They're probably just breaking even and trying to get out. So and they were even trying to. They didn't want to even leave furnishings. They wanted to sell furnishings. So I had to negotiate what we would buy and what we wouldn't, what they needed to take. And this is a 3-bedroom house that could go on Airbnb as a 4-bedroom. So it has a non-conforming fourth bedroom, two and a
Mm,
half bath. It's a little bit larger, especially for the market. It's 2,500 square feet.
that's
Has a
pretty
lot of for these style homes. Usually they're a lot
right.
smaller. Big bedrooms. It has a lot of room to expand. So it has a garage underneath the house, like a lot of these ones do up there. But then it also has other finished heated square footage that you could expand into and make a game room or a speakeasy or something like that.
Mhm.
Um, Nice deck space. It's on a double lot. Everything I bought up there is on a double or triple lot, which is nice. You have lots of space. So it checked all those boxes for me, but the way they had it set up was they had one king bedroom, one bedroom that had a twin over queen bunk, one bedroom that had two single beds, and one bedroom that had a pull-out sofa.
Mm,
So they could sleep like 10 people, but they were never going to really be of interest to multiple families
mhm.
because they only had one king bedroom.
Yeah.
So if you have two couples and their kids that want to go on vacation together, who wants to go sleep in single beds when they have the choice to have multiple king bedrooms in the property down the street. So I think that was sort of their first issue. They also didn't do a hot tub, which uh
I
in
think
a
in that area you have to. Bel Air
yes.
there's just so much competition.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there is much more mature competition there, and it's unlike the beach markets in Michigan. This is almost more of a four season market because it's very very close to skiing. It's in a
mhm.
ski resort, so people don't want to go skiing and not have a hot tub.
Yeah.
So
Mm,
adding a hot tub is non-negotiable. So setting it up like that, and then when I saw that there was extra room to amenitize and more like grow into this property
mhm.
and extra square footage to keep adding things, that was what sold me on it. So I
Yeah.
know that if if nothing else is a blank slate basically where I can go in and create an experience, and
Yeah.
I'm confident that I can make one that's going to compete well and command higher ADRs.
Yeah. I even seen in that area some of the higher grossing ones, they have a hot tub and a barrel sauna. Like
Right.
it's you know, and it sounds like you have the room for that if it's something that, you decide to do down the road. It sounds like you got the space for it, which is nice.
Yep. So I am gonna do probably in lieu of a barrel sauna, I'm gonna do geodomes, which I've done
Mm,
at
yeah,
the
yeah.
other places, and nobody else is doing that. So I'm not against adding a barrel sauna, but I think the geodome differentiates a little bit, and other people are doing barrel saunas, so
Yep.
we'll see.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know
Well,
anybody that wouldn't want to be in a barrel sauna, or I'm sorry, in a geodome.
yeah.
4 seasons, but a
Yeah.
barrel sauna is a unique person that likes to do the sauna cold plunge type thing. So,
Yeah, I think it just depends on who your persona is, right?
right.
What's your avatar, your guest avatar, who you trying to go after? I think that's important to think about before you
Yeah.
just do this, right? Because if you and that was one thing of why I did it at White Birch, because my avatar fit that perfectly.
Yes.
Um, but that's not necessarily everybody's avatar, and so otherwise you may just be spending wasteless money on something
Yeah.
that really isn't accommodating to who you're trying to get to book your property.
Right. So I did actually wire Alm House for barrel sauna,
Mm,
and it's in a spot where I could either throw a barrel sauna there or I'll just throw an EV charger, but I put,
yeah.
high voltage right there on the side of the house, and I haven't decided which one I'm gonna do yet.
Hmm.
Mainly because I hit the top of the budget and I wasn't gonna keep going.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to get this thing going.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. It's there though, right? So that's a quick, easy thing
right.
if when you're ready.
Yeah. So back to Treehouse though, it is I'm hoping to be cleared to close today, which is we had some hurdles with the lending. They thought it was they thought it was going to be in a flood zone, and it was like at 1,000 feet of elevation in Michigan's like that's impossible. So we had to negotiate through all
Mhm.
that. Just little things keep coming up that are kind of just making it take a little longer than it should.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to be cleared to close today, and I'm going to close on Wednesday. And I don't recommend this, but I bought all my furnishings on Wayfair yesterday. And a little hack: if you use Wayfair Professional, you can actually reach out to them and do scheduled delivery. So I'm going to be up there on the 20th. I've got my dad coming over there on the 19th.
Hmm.
I've got my snow removal guy to be in there on the 18th. My dad's gonna get there the 19th, and I have a scheduled delivery for the 19th. I fly in at 5 a.m. on the 20th. Um, yeah, and I am flying home at like 9 p.m. on the. Actually, I get home Christmas Eve morning at like
Wow.
midnight. So, like 12:30 in the morning on Christmas Eve, I'll be hopefully flying back into Houston, and they will both be set up and running. We will
Woo!
see. Yeah.
Crunching. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
love it.
But with Amazon Business and with Wayfair Professional, you can do scheduled delivery,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is nice. And I am hoping that with scheduled delivery, if something happens and I can't close, I can say cancel it
Hmm. Hmm.
because I'm working with them directly to do scheduled delivery. So
Right.
we'll see. But otherwise, if I don't, I'm not going to be up there on Christmas Day doing this when I've got little kids at home.
Right.
And I need to be up there basically to get Elm House ready because the inspector's staying on the 28th.
Mhm.
And I'm hoping I can get somebody else in there over Christmas or right around then to do another stay for me. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I am down to the wire, but it just takes a lot of attention to detail and taking it into bite-sized chunks.
Yeah.
I've got the hot tub lined up to be delivered this weekend. I've got somebody to wire it set up. I've already talked to some of my boots on the ground, people that I know, even
Mhm.
though a lot of them are. So my snowplow guy and my cleaner are going to be out of town for Christmas,
Mhm.
but I've
Yep.
got their backups. I've got people that they know that can come in and be extra sets of hands for me. So I'm going to be, have other people in there putting together beds and things like that. Just trying to hire out the little things that, if I'm only there for 2 days, I'm setting up 2 properties. I don't need to spend 3 hours putting together a bed frame.
Yeah.
So just taking care of that and trying to roll with the punches and pay close attention to detail and have a plan and get through it.
Well, and I think in some of your recent podcasts, I know this is the first time we were able to connect in a couple weeks almost, because you just had a lot going on. But I think the focus on yourself, how do you reduce the stress, when you go to a property, your note taking, what is your list, all that is extremely important in this time frame, because you got a lot happening and you still got a great attitude and you don't look like you're running on 2 hours of sleep. Maybe you are, but you don't look it, but it could be the
Uh,
coffee.
yeah. I am a big coffee guy, you know that. But yeah, I'm sleeping fine because I'm getting things done every day. I think if I
Yeah.
was in a position where I wasn't getting things done, I would be losing sleep over it. But
Yeah.
we're making the incremental steps that we need to make. There's a plan in place,
Hmm.
and when things change with the plan, we're pivoting, right?
Yeah.
Um,
That's
so last,
important. I think
yeah,
you have the backup plan to the backup plan even, which is
right,
extremely critical because, like you said, these people are out, but I got these other contacts. Like, being proactive and getting that information and building that relationship enough with them up to this point is important. And that kind of goes back to one of our other episodes about how the importance of relationship building, right? Because they need to buy in to understand that this is extremely critical for you. And at the end of the day, though, we always talked about it, just people up north are just a different breed, man. I really do think that they are. They're just great people, and they're willing to help out and do whatever it takes to earn your trust in business for the long term as well.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And I think if you're a serious operator and you're trying to get results while at the same time treating them well, they
Hmm.
respect that and they want to work for you.
Yeah.
So for instance, I had a hard time finding somebody in Bellaire that wanted to actually shovel off my decks and clear a path up to the house.
Hmm.
Finding someone to plow your driveway is no big deal, but finding somebody to make sure that guests can get in the door is a little more difficult.
Hmm.
And I found a guy that he didn't do that at all, and he's like, "Well, I'll give you a price to shovel it every time." Okay, thanks. But those decks get a lot of snow on them up there, and
Yeah.
to stay on top of that, I mean, it's a lot of work, and it would be to actually go out there and manually shovel those decks a few times for every guest, might even be cost prohibitive.
Yeah.
Um, so I actually said, "Hey, how about instead of just," so he gave me a decent price just to shovel access. I said, "Well, how about every so often you clear the deck, but I'll buy you one of those electric snow blowers to do it.
Yeah.
You keep it at your house, you have it whenever you go, and
I
if you
move.
use it on, yeah, if you use it on other people's houses, I don't care at all." And he was thrilled. He's like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It didn't really cost me a bunch of money, but now for the
Hmm.
same amount, I'm getting both decks cleared off.
Yep.
I'm getting good access. I've helped him out." And we
Hmm.
just had to think a little bit outside the box and talk to the guy like a human being and see what he wanted to do. And he's thrilled now that he doesn't even have to use a shovel probably to clear off the stairs. He's just got this. I guess it's technically like an electric snow shovel. Have you
Yeah.
seen those? Yeah.
I have. It's so funny because I had a similar story a couple years back with all the leaves at Seven Pines, and I bought a person a big one of those big backpack um, blowers. I'm like, what if I buy it? And then we actually worked out a deal where he paid me back just per new job he got. And so it was a win-win for everybody. But that's, again, think outside the box. I love it. That's genius.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're getting close to time. Any other last comments, thoughts, words of wisdom to our listeners?
Well, I think the only thing other people might be wondering, and I don't think we've even talked about this yet, Tyler, is photographs, which is
Yeah, it's critical.
the missing piece here. Like professional photographs, we absolutely have to have. But in this case, I'm going to give myself a waiver because I have to get these properties up and running.
Hmm.
Luckily, I do dabble in photography a little bit. I've got close to a professional camera setup. I can take some decent pictures.
Yeah.
But I do have Cody Lynn coming in the first week of February to shoot both places.
Okay.
So that is when I'll be back up again to kind of put the finishing touches and everything.
Mhm.
And we'll have an absolute pro in there shooting nice winter shots. Hopefully, I can't imagine there won't be snow on the ground the first week of February.
Yeah.
So we'll have good winter shots from a true professional. But for the first 5, 6 weeks, it's just going to be my amateurish photos, maybe some design boards from the interior designer,
Mhm.
and that's going to be what it is. So you got to get up and running at some point. And I think people will give you a little bit of grace. Now you can't have iPhone photos on there that are just terrible
Right.
for years on end, but
Well, and let's
it
specify,
is what it
I
is.
mean, iPhone has really jumped up. If it's an iPhone 8, yeah, those photos are probably
Yeah,
gonna stink, but a newer
yeah,
iPhone
yeah.
gets some
iPhone
good.
can take some pretty good photos, and especially if you're editing them a little bit and making
Yep.
sure that the lighting's good and all that, you can really do well with an iPhone.
Yeah.
But
Well, I'm
yeah,
excited to see how the photos turn out with Cody. I've been trying to work something out with him to do some additional pictures at my property. Just hasn't worked out, but he's such a good dude, and man, his photos are amazing. So,
yeah, I'm gonna have him up again for Seven Pines, so maybe we can have him shoot both the places.
ooh, I like that. Yeah, let's
Um,
coordinate.
but I want to have him up in the summer for that, and then maybe I'll have him reshoot the exteriors of the other
Yeah,
places for summer or something,
yeah.
something like that. So yeah. All right. Well, yeah,
Very good,
yeah.
man.
I'll
Well,
keep you all posted on how it's going.
a lot happening, but we're excited for you, and we know it's gonna be phenomenal. So, you're doing a good job, man.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks for the therapy session.
Well, everybody, again, appreciate you for listening. Please give us a like, subscribe, and a 5-star review, and we'll see you in the peak season.
Take care, everybody.